I'm gonna pick out one of my favorites, which is basically a nun on a bicycle. I think this is really fun. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Josephine, and on this channel we talk about all things fragranced. Today's video is the first video part of a series that I'm running on my channel for National Fragrance Week, which runs this week, so from the 16th to the 22nd of March. During this week, I will be exploring fragrance trends, introducing you to new and cool brands, and discussing really cool topics around fragrances. The topic of this video is all about layering. So what is layering and what are my top tips for layering? Not only will I be sharing with you my top tips, but I will also be revealing a really cool, hot off the press, up and coming brand that hasn't even launched yet. Make sure you also stay with me to the end of the video because there will be a giveaway. So if you'd like to know more about what my top tips are for layering fragrances, then please keep watching. What is fragrance layering or fragrance combining? Fragrance layering is a mixing of two or more fragrances to create an entirely new scent. So this means mixing two fragrances like these, or you can mix a fragrance like that you would spray every day with a body lotion, or you can mix it as well with hairspray and body mist. So basically mixing different scents together. Why do we layer, you may ask? Well, you can create a totally personalized scent that is for you and come up with new creative combinations that will suit your mood, your style, season, and occasion. You can also help to make your fragrance more long-lasting. I have a video on that, so I'll link it down below and put it on the screen. But essentially, layering is really having fun with scent, and effectively you're acting as your own perfumer, which is really cool. So who does layering really well? What brands really stand out when it comes to layering fragrances? I think the one that jumps to my mind, and maybe to yours as well, is Jo Malone, because the whole idea around Jo Malone fragrances is that they can be mixed with one another to create new, unique combinations. So Jo Malone does this very well, but today I'm so excited to share with you a new brand that is also all based around layering, but very different to Jo Malone. It is a very cool unisex brand that is called Ilk. And this brand is going to launch, I believe, in April, so springtime. I don't have the exact date, but keep your eyes peeled for this brand because it is so cool. The idea is to combine two contradicting scents that are actually complementary. So the fragrances are inspired by human nature and emotions, and more importantly, the contradictions that we can have in our character that really make us who we are. So there's 8 unisex fragrances and 4 combining pairs, but you can also venture out of that and create your own compositions. So it's a very playful way to experience fragrance, and there will be a giveaway with Ilk at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. All right, let's get right into my top 10 tips as to how you can layer a fragrance. Tip number 1 is to take a perfume that you love and enhance a facet of it. And what I mean by that is, for example, if you're really into chypre fragrances, you can enhance the citrus sparkling effect of a chypre by combining it with a citrus perfume. Or if you want to enhance that woody, mossy, and patchouli feel, then you can combine it with a woody fragrance. If you don't know where to start, I would definitely go to Fragrantica, which is a fragrance website / blog that talks about perfumes, and more importantly, it will break down the notes within a fragrance, and that can help guide you to what you want to enhance within your favorite perfume. My favorite combination at the moment, which I've already talked about on this channel, but I just love it so much, is Air and Hibiscus Palm, which is a solar floral fragrance that smells of tiare flower and coconut milk. So it's a really tropical floral scent that is so nice to wear during the summer. I love to enhance the tropical feel and the warm, balmy feel with Vanilla Vibes by Juliet Has a Gun. Vanilla Vibes by Juliet Has a Gun is a salty vanilla fragrance, and it has a bit of a sunscreen effect. So the two combined just makes a gorgeous floral vanilla tropical dream that just smells so nice and perfect for the summer. Tip number 2 is play it safe. Combine fragrances that share a common ingredient. So for example, if you love jasmine fragrances, then you can layer 2 fragrances that have a note of jasmine. Now the only caveat with that is that I wouldn't combine notes that are too cloying and too heavy. For example, I wouldn't recommend combining two ouds together, because that can be a bit overpowering and it will be harder to work with as well. At the moment, I'm obsessed with almond notes in perfumery. If you watch my channel, you know that I love Tardis by Carner Barcelona. I'm obsessed with Pegasus as well by Parfum de Marly, and Peau de Pierre by Stark Perfumes. All of these fragrances share an almondy note, which I love. I discovered recently a great combination that has almond in it by Ilk Perfume. The two fragrances that you can combine from Ilk to recreate this gorgeous almondy feel is Devious and Sincere. Both of these fragrances share an almondy note, but they're very different. And this is where the contradiction in scent comes into play. Because Devious, on one hand, it's spicy, it's a tonka bean, cherry liquor feel, so it's quite a powerful fragrance. There's lots of spices, there's nutmeg and cardamom, but it's also mixed with vanilla, amaretto, and cherry liquor, so it's quite an indulgent fragrance. This perfume actually reminds me of two Penhaligon's Portraits fragrances. The first one is Clandestine Clara, and the second one is Changing Constance. This perfume, Devious, I would say is a hybrid between the two. So you mix Devious with Sincere, which is the polar opposite to Devious. Yes, it shares a common note of almond, but it is a very fresh perfume. It's light, it's soft, and it feels quite comforting as well. It actually reminds me a little bit of L'Occitane almond body lotion that is really indulgent and smells really good. And you get a very reassuring milky feel that is mixed with solar florals, with ylang ylang, and some fuzzy peach. So it's a very comforting scent. And when you mix Devious and Sincere together, something incredible happens because they really balance each other out. Devious can be like very strong and very spicy and like very indulgent, but then Sincere lightens it up, brightens it up. So the overall impression is you get a very fresh cherry liquor type of scent that is really complex, is mouth-watering, and smells just so good. Tip number 3 is to use fragrances that are linear in structure. And so what I mean by that is when you first spray a perfume on your skin, wait a couple of hours later, it will stay the same. So it has a stable evolution. Typical fragrances that are like that and that work very easily on the skin are citruses, musks, and certain vanillas that are quite linear and not too complex in scent. The combination that I really enjoy wearing is mixing Molecule 2 by Eccentric Molecules with Longo Mais by Isnar. Eccentric Molecules Molecule 2 is a really fresh, woody, aquatic fragrance based on the note of ambroxan, and Longo Mais fragrance by Isnar is a fresh, rosy scent. So when you mix the two, the Molecule 2 by Eccentric Molecules will enhance the dewy freshness of Centifolia Rose, which is in Longo Mais. Overall, you'll get a very fresh, dewy, rosy perfume with a hint of a mineral feel, which is gorgeous, especially for the springtime. Tip number 4 is be adventurous rather than playing it safe, so that you can mix contrasting notes together to get the most striking results. Combination that I discovered that plays on that is one by Ilk. It is mixing Infatuated with Nonchalant. These two fragrances create something that is really mind-blowing and a gorgeous scent. So first of all, what does Infatuated smell like? It smells to my nose like a fresh green oud fragrance, which is an interesting combination because I haven't smelled many green oudy scents. Have you? Let me know in the comments below if you have, but for me, this is a first. This perfume opens with a very sharp, spicy pepper kick that's mixed with juniper berries, so it has that freshness. It reminds me a little bit of the bitterness of green foliage that is basically mixed on a bed of woods. And then you get the tonka bean that comes into play, so there's a little bit of sweetness in the background. So it's a very layered and complex fragrance. How about Nonchalant? Nonchalant is basically a powdery, vintagey, violet to rose to geranium composition. It reminds me a little bit of Lipstick Rose in terms of the vintage powdery feel, but it feels different because of the geranium that gives a sort of fresh, citrusy greenness. So the two together create a gorgeous, rosy oud combination that is very complex and really modern. If you're into rose to oud combinations and want to step up your game, then I recommend you try the combination of Infatuated and Nonchalant by Ilk. Tip number 5 is to choose notes that are complementary. So for example, if you're into florals, you can mix your florals with citruses to lighten them up, or you can mix them with fruits to really bring out that floral fruity aspect of the fragrance. You can also mix it with woods to add more structure and depth to a floral fragrance. The combination that I have is a floral to oriental combination. It is Rose de Grace by Erin, which is a rosy, musky fragrance that's fresh but smells really luxurious, mixed with Hermetica Vertical Oud. I only have a little sample here, but I will probably end up getting a full-size bottle of this fragrance. It is a rosy raspberry oud combination that is really unique, and the combination of the two is absolutely incredible. It makes a very luxurious, fresh rose oud fragrance, and one that has also an incredible sillage, and I can guarantee you that it will bring a lot of compliments. So that was mixing Rose de Grace by Erin with Vertical Oud by Hermetica. Tip number 6 is always experimenting on a blotter first before applying to your skin, because sometimes mixing combinations can really go off. And so you'd rather have that on the paper than on your skin. And the way that I like to do it, it may sound a little fancy, but it works, is take 2 blotters like this, bend the end, and then spray one fragrance to one blotter, spray the second fragrance on the other blotter, put these 2 blotters together like this, and essentially move the blotter next to your nose and put your nose sort of in the middle of the inverted triangle here, and you will get an idea of what the fragrance smells like. Once you're happy with that combination on the blotter, you must test it on your skin to see how it evolves and how you like it. Tip number 7 is spray the strongest perfume first. So the one that is the most opulent, that is richer one, that is more dense, so that it anchors the fragrance and also doesn't suffocate the other notes that you will layer on after. So for example, if you're working with musks, woods, or gourmand notes like vanilla, I would spray those on first before layering them with, say, citruses or florals. So in the example where I talked about Erin Hibiscus Palm and Vanilla Vibes, I would spray Vanilla Vibes first and then followed by Erin Hibiscus Palm. Tip number 8 is to blend masculine and feminine scents. I have 2 combinations to share with you today. The first one is mixing Hibiscus Palm with L'Encens de Guerlain pour Homme Eau de Toilette makes an incredible combination, because the beachy vibe in Erin Hibiscus Palm is toned down and leaves place for a very opulent and sensual floral fragrance. The addition of the woody notes within L'Encens de Guerlain give a power to the perfume, and the cacao in L'Encens de Guerlain pour Homme mixes beautifully with the coconut milk and vanilla notes in Hibiscus Palm to make it really opulent, edible, and ultra sensual. So this combination is a killer, and I think this would be great for date night. The second combination that I have is one that I can't really take credit for, because I heard Chris from Fragmental talk about this. He decided to mix Creed Aventus with Baccarat Rouge 540. So I don't have Creed by Aventus, but I have Vibrant Leather by Zara, which is a dupe for Creed Aventus, and I tried mixing it with Baccarat Rouge 540. And you know what? The combination really works. Interestingly, when you mix the two together, you get a fruity note that is quite similar to the fruity note in Aventus. I think it's certainly mixing the Vibrant Leather with Baccarat Rouge enhances the sweetness of Baccarat Rouge. So it is a little bit out there. It will get more of a sweet, musky, very unusual fragrance by mixing the two, and definitely worth trying. So if you own Creed Aventus and Baccarat Rouge, have a play around with it and let me know in the comments below, if you own these fragrances and have tried this combination, what you think. Tip number 9 is to stick to the same fragrance concentration. So say you want to layer an EDP, layer it with another EDP. Same thing goes for if you want to use an EDT, mix it with another EDT. Now I have shared 2 combinations today that kind of go against this. The one with Hibiscus Palm by Erin and with L'Encens pour Homme by Guerlain. One is an EDP, one is an EDT, but the EDT here is very woody and very strong, so it actually works together. And the other combination is mixing Vertical Oud, which is a non-alcohol based fragrance, mixed with an EDP that has alcohol. It works because it's quite long lasting, but generally speaking, I would try and avoid, for example, mixing an EDP with an EDT, because the EDP will almost suffocate the EDT, if that makes sense, and you won't be able to smell the lighter concentration as much as the one that is more concentrated. Tip number 10, the final tip, is really just experiment with perfume. Have fun. These tips that I talked about before, they're just general little guidelines that can maybe help you, but ultimately there's no right or wrong answer with this. It just comes with, I guess, playing around with your perfume collection and just have fun, because perfume is about having fun. It's about experiencing a little bit of magic and dream. So don't take this too seriously, to the book. Just have fun and play. And now onto the giveaway. I will be giving away a discovery set of the full range of fragrances from Ilk. I have a little envelope here because the discovery set isn't ready yet, but by the time that I will be posting this video, it might be ready. This is what happens when there's a new and really cool brand. So you have all the fragrances in here. It will also come with some cards that I have here that will explain the fragrances, so I can send these to you as well. I just wanted to point out that the visuals are super cool on these cards, and the stories behind the fragrances are really awesome. I'm gonna pick out one of my favorites, which is basically a nun on a bicycle. I think this is really fun. So I will be sending this discovery set to one lucky subscriber, but the giveaway will be on my Instagram. So make sure you're subscribed to my Instagram in order to be eligible for this giveaway. It's not going to be a YouTube giveaway. So head over to my Instagram, and more details around the giveaway and as to how you can enter will be shared on my Instagram. So that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below if you have any layering combinations that you would recommend, that you really enjoy wearing. I would love to know. And in the meantime, I will see you tomorrow in another video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!